Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm Augustin and currently technical director of ClickHouse. So I'm introducing the new product of ClickHouse and surrounding it's a Python tool. So let's start. So I will do a quick poll. So who have used the pandas? Okay, almost everyone. So it's a Python conference. So who has ever waited more than 10 seconds to waiting for pandas to return? Yeah, okay. Me too. So what if I told you once it could be 200 and more faster, 200 times and faster. And so yeah, still a quick introduce on myself. And yeah, I have a website and Augustin.com. So you can just visit. So the slides is also over there, and you can check all the stuff I'm doing. So we love pandas, but pandas is single-threaded. So one core for 16 doing the work. Typically, when we are using ClickHouse, there are hundreds of cores. So when you run pandas on the machine, yeah, it will pretty slow. And so pandas, as we know, is eager executions. That means if you want to do something very simple, just pull data and do some counting and aggregation, it will pull all the data and to their memory and try to do things in a notebook or something, and yeah, boom, OOM. So it's very memory hungry. So for example, like something like 40 million rows of JSON, it will need 10 gigabytes of peak memory. So if you have a 8 gigabytes memory laptop, the JSON will OOM, so you will never see the result, and so wait is useless. So let me introduce a new tool. So the new tool name is CHDB. CH is something like a ClickHouse, so DB, you know it. And so we have a metaphor in our company, something like you put a rocket engine on a bicycle. So obviously, yeah, bicycle is Python. Everyone can read it, and it's not easy to learn. And rocket engine is something like ClickHouse in its battlefield test, and very fast, very stable, and almost everyone using it, paid or not paid, whatever. So technically, CHDB is something like an in-process OLAP engine powered by ClickHouse. Yeah, it's very long. And no server, no config, just a pip install CHDB, you get the power. And full ClickHouse circle. So everything in ClickHouse is in CHDB. Or maybe, yeah, maybe not too many people know what is in ClickHouse. Let me do introduce. And ClickHouse support 80 more data formats, like a common thing like CSV, Parquet, and also TSV, and JSON, S3, ATP, even Postgres. We can treat it as a data source. So we can run SQL in alien database without pulling the data to our own database. You just run it without ingest all the data. So zero copy. So we have support something like data frame and ClickHouse zero copy. We can read and write data frame, and without any copy, so no overhead. So what I'm seeing is data frame is pandas data frame, not something like XX data frame. It's just pandas, no shit. And so think CHDB is something like a SQLite for analytics, but 100 times faster. Yeah, hey, how fast? We have something like named ClickBench. This is a very complete bench website. We benchmark all kinds of data processing libs like SQL database and all kinds of database, and also something like pandas, polars, and DuckDB, and all kinds of database, including SQLite. So yeah, it's not very clear. So something like we are at least 100 faster than the second one, which is MongoDB, and 100 times faster than SQLite, and almost 300 faster than Postgres. So how do we use CHDB? So CHDB come to the fourth version. So basically, it's something like you just import CHDB data store as PD, and the PD. So usually PD is pandas. So here you just wrote your code as if you are writing something like pandas. That's all. That's all. You can run it. So what's the magic? First, we treat everything as a table in ClickHouse. So something like you can select from a local file, or just something like from a URL. You can put something like JSON and pack it in a URL. We can treat it like a table. You do not need to manually drag it down and to your notebook. And also, what is crazy? If you do something like a dictionary, like the key is a star and the value is something like a list, it looks like something like a table. It has a name and a column, so we can run query on the dictionary. So yeah, that's also what we can do. And also we can just query Postgres. And here's something we can just join all kinds of data sources in one cycle. Like something you can pull something from URL, that's a packet, and local you have a CSV, and then you have some processed data frame with pandas, and then you can join all kinds of stuff in a cycle. So here's what we do. On the first layer, it's a pandas compatible layer. So you just roll pandas. And the second layer, we transform and compile all stuff into some lazy operation. So after we compare all things, and when something comes to a trigger, if you want to put the result, or print the result, or just do some iteration on the result, we just start the query, start running. So if you do not need the result, we do nothing, just lazy, too lazy, yeah. And also, when you do something like you call something very unique, only existed in pandas or just Python. We do something like we first compile the first segment of code into SQL and run the result, and it will output something like pandas. So we call the pandas function, then we call the SQL engine ClickHouse again to get the result. So here's your typical, very typical pandas code. Something like, you just read CSV and do some filtering, like age about 25 and salary, and do some group by and sort values. It's very common. So what you need to do to try CHDB is something like that. You just replace the first line. So it's just import CHDB data as PD. Nothing changed. You can run it. It's just faster. So same code, same API, but ClickHouse engine run underneath. And we compile it into SQL, and then run it inside the engine. Yeah, I made the animation. So this is not a typical slide. This is just a website. So I just web the slides. And So I just mentioned that there's a segment execution. Something like you just run the first segment, and then there's some very unique, only existed in Python. In pandas, you can call the function, and then the second segment will do it automatically. You do not need to care. Okay. So also, if you do not want to write something like in SQL to join different data sources, you can just use data source style join. You can just create some variable from data source, and then get result and then just a function training like what you done in pandas, and it's very simple, no SQL. So yeah, actually it's a Python conference, but yeah, we have a lot of language bindings like if you are using Python, if you are using Golang, Rust, Ruby, Node, or Bun, or even .NET, so Java and Zig, you can use CHDB in all kinds of language. And also we can run everywhere, like Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab, and Hex, Marino. And also you can even put CHDB in some Lambda function. I know some customers are using CHDB, which is very crazy. They just put all the data in S3 and put CHDB in some Lambda function. So when they need to query, they just call the Lambda function and get the result. And when no query, there's no need to pay money, just pay storage of S3. And also you can run it on Cloudflare Worker and Docker. You can create a CLI tools, just embed the whole powerful database engine inside the script. Yeah. And yeah, we have did some benchmark. This is have done in my developer machine. Not too much memory and not too much CPU, just 16 CPU and 33 gigabytes of memory, and use the latest Python and do some benchmark like we just repackage and do some count and something like a filtering group and got SAM and something. It's very common. And there's 10 tests. Here's what we got. For the first, we speed up as 7 times, and then 4 times and 2 times. For some very simple query, like there's a in-memory data frame, we can even run faster than pandas itself. So, but it's only 1.3 times faster. So, yeah. This is what I tested just yesterday on my development machine. And also from the memory side, we just put the 4 of them here. And for the read count, CHDB use much lesser memory. I cannot even tell the green one is much lesser, so we use less memory. And for even something like a filter and aggregation, which is ClickHouse is very good at doing something like aggregation and join and something like filtering, and also to get some control thing from the other side, and we have saved a lot of memory. So for the same data set, let's see you have 50 meg rows of JSON or something like CSV. You have 8 gigabyte memory laptop. For when you run pandas, you will get some peak memory like 10 gigabytes, 7 gigabytes. If there's some user memory, you will get OOM. But when you try CHDB, it's okay. So the magic is we just run it with the ClickHouse engine. So we have been optimized the ClickHouse engine for almost 15 years. So everything you run in CHDB is something we create a pipeline. So you get one chunk of data. We read the chunk of data from the pipeline other side. So the total memory is totally controlled, and you do not need to put all the things in the memory one time. So we just do it with the stream manners. Yeah. So which is, I think there's a key decision. When we create CHDB V4, we just thought maybe we can create something like pandas compatible. But in fact, at first, I do not believe we can do it. But after second thought, I think pandas is something very important here. So nowadays, people are more and more using large language model like ChatGPT, like Opus, Anthropic, writing code. So the large language model just read and learn a lot of code from the internet, from GitHub, and the people wrote a lot of pandas legacy code. So large language model are very, very good at writing pandas. Because since the large language model was born, pandas occupy the whole world. So we decided we don't want to create something new. Just you can use your pandas, and we can take care of all the stuff. So pandas is the most common de facto standard of data science area. So I have asked a lot of students come to our booth, and what are you learning in the college? Yeah, I got 3 answers: R language, and Python, and pandas. So yeah, pandas is very important. And so we can execute it on ClickHouse automatically without taking care of you everything. And also, no need to teach a new API. So AI write pandas and CHTB make it faster. This is the thing. So typically you can do something like that. Hey, Cloud. I'm a fan of Cloud. I don't really like ChatGPT. When we doing code, Cloud is much more smarter. Yeah. So you can call Cloud group sales by region and show me the top 10. And this is a natural language. It will generate a very standard pandas code, and no debugging. 100% it will create the right code and run it on ClickHouse or editor store, and it's faster, 200 times faster, and less memory. So I think maybe the future is something like that. So the numbers, 247 times faster, and we are even faster than DuckDB. When we trying to exporting 1 million rows to data frame, we are faster about 24%, and also we can got about 7.7 times speed up on 50 million rows join and aggregation. And the peak memory we have tested in some scenario, we have 23 times less memory than pandas. And also there's a lot of more data formats supported, which is important. It's something like if you want to do some aggregation with pandas, let's say the data is something in our data lake or just in some Postgres database. Typically, you need to drag all the data and process it locally. But with CHDB, because we are a SQL engine, we can compare to SQL and do some filter push down. So we can do some operation locally in the database side, so you do not need to taking too much care about am I pulling out the data, the memory will OM? No need to care. And only one line change, you give it a try. Yeah. And also the getting started, you just pipe install CHDB and modify one line to your legacy code, and everything just happen. No server, no config, no new API to learn. Yeah, nowadays I'm also too lazy to learn something new about how to using a new lib to do my own things. Yeah, this is what we are doing. So we are still doing something like that. When the Python 3.14. This is, I think we should have a code name that Python Py. Yeah. Python 3.14 has a free threading, so no more geo. So there's the option, you can run Python without a geo. So, let me do a quick poll. Is there anyone who know what is geo? Raise your hand. Okay, not too much. Yeah, let me do a simple explanation. So GEO is something like a grand interpreter lock. So there's a lock in Python. So even you try to use the multi-threading in Python, it's not true multi-threading. I mean, it's multi-threading, but you need to do things one by one with multi-threading. So sometimes it's even slower than single thread. So in the new Python, we are trying to adopt a new standard and trying to make it without a GEO. And also we trying to make a PyTorch data loader, so you can just load data and with PyTorch without introducing new libs. And hybrid execution, like something like that. If you are a ClickHouse Enterprise user, you have ClickHouse Cloud, you can just push down or use the remote engine to process your local data, and we will get a result for you to your notebook. Yeah, this is, and if you are deploying something like open source cloud, open source ClickHouse, you can do it also. And also we have trying to support multimodal data processing. Yeah, this is what we haven't started. Okay, that's all from me. Yeah. The microphone seems not working. You can come here. Yeah, we are co-hosting.
Okay. Thank you for your report. Very interesting. I have never heard about the approach and so easy move from pandas to what do you offer. Appreciate that. But actually, I don't love pandas. Never love pandas. Most of all, I use or NumPy directly, or recently, if it's need be more high level, it's polars. Polars. And I saw that you compare only with pandas, but what do you think with polars? Did you do comparison with polars about memory, about speed execution? And I think this is a very strong competitor.
Yeah. I have known that there's someone who use polars a lot, and we have did some benchmark with polars and also DuckDB. There are some win and also some fail. I think what we want to stress is that when it comes to, a lot of people are trying to write web coding, all kinds of things on our notebook or on your online things, and the web code stuff always writes something like pandas, so you can run pandas faster. This is what we try to make. And also, for pandas, NumPy is underlying. So pandas data frame actually is NumPy. So we can run query on NumPy directly without a copy. Yeah, this is what we supported. And I don't know if I have answered your question.
Yeah. First of all, really insightful talk. We really are interested in seeing how we can migrate pandas, because in our work we work with pandas a lot, and one of the big discoveries we actually had is we tried different engines. So particularly we tried say Spark, we say Polar, say DuckDB, and one of the significant trade-offs that we do is that in engines say like Polars, they are lazily evaluated, and what that means is you cannot perform aggregations over the entire data set. So we can only perform aggregations on the partitions. So I'm curious if ClickHouse has that kind of limitation as well, or can we actually truly aggregate over large data sets and just expect that pandas would still be able to handle it?
Yeah. Actually, CHDB V4 is pure lazy execution. So, and also the lazy execution, you do not need to control the lazy things manually, or switch to something like a lazy frame or something like that. You do not need to do that. We are natively lazy. So we trying to compile the code and execute it when you're trying to get the result. So I think for someone really new to data science area, it's much easier to use. You do not need to learn. You just use something you are familiar in your college. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to see. And there's a lot of technical detail under hood, but after I talking to a lot of people here and most of the students, I just decide no much technical detail. But yeah, if you are interested, we have a lot of blogs and articles writing what is under hood. You can dig more. Yeah.
Thank you.